Top 5 list. Let's do it. Aaron, give me your top 5 reasons that Stetson Bennett succeeds once again this year.
Oh, man. I mean, first off, the dude was the MVP of the national championship. I mean, Georgia fans, my guy won you the first national championship in 40 years. Oh, the defense was great. Okay, the defense was very good. The defense was phenomenal. But you still got to score points in order to win. And Stetson, especially in the second half of that national championship game versus Alabama, was freaking tremendous. So, reason one, MVP of the national championship. There's not a lot of returning MVPs of a national championship, so enjoy that. The kid is special. Number two, why I think Stetson's going to shine. Last year, just lack of receiver talent. George Pickens was supposed to be that guy. He was hurt. Just injuries at that position. I felt like every single week, really a lack of opportunity for Stetson to build the chemistry. I'm super excited. This year, you look at what they have from Ladd, who I thought Ladd was tremendous last year, finding a role in that offense, a utility guy, put him in the slot, you put him outside. A.D. Mitchell, a complete stud, looks the part, really started to gain some confidence towards the end of the season. He takes a step in the right direction. Then you look at the tight ends. My goodness, some of the best tight ends I've ever seen in my life. Brock Bowers, a stud. You matchup nightmare for defenses. You got Gilbert, who came from your territory there at LSU. Everyone I talk to says mentally is in a right position. He is ready to go for the season. An absolute freak, had a great spring game, had a few touchdowns. And then Darnell Washington, you get him healthy. 3 tight ends that you could put out there and do whatever you want with. Man, find the matchup. Linebacker, safety, come guard one of these guys. I will expose you. So better talent around Stetson in his second year gets me really, really excited about what he can do. His running ability, last year, 365 yards rushing. A quarterback that can run is always a nightmare for a defense. He is going to bring that part of his game, getting in and outside the pocket. Love that aspect from him. Super smart. Just needs to be a little bit more careful with some of the decisions he makes outside the pocket. 1, get down. You're not a big guy. Protect the body. And then 2, if you're rolling to your right or left, please, Stetson, don't throw across your body. You will make me lose my hair. Needs to get better at that. Reason number 4, and maybe the biggest reason, honestly, this was his first full season as QB1. 2 years ago, I went to a scrimmage. I was at a scrimmage in the fall. You got all these quarterbacks in. They're getting all these reps. Jamie Newman, for those who remember, RIP Jamie Newman. JT transferred in. All these guys are getting reps with the first and second team guys. All of a sudden, it's halftime. KIRBY, everyone go in the halftime. Everyone go in the locker room. Stetson and the freshman stayed out. That was it. That's all. He got 10 minutes of reps. Then came in, had to play last year with injuries, guys transferring out, this and are sitting out. Once again, fast forward to last offseason. It's JT's job. JT, you're our man. You played well at the end of the season against, I would say, very average teams and very average opponents, but you're our guy. We'll give you the starting nod. Stetson gets no reps. Carson Beck, everyone else, they get kind of the number 2, number 3 reps. Stetson, you're just here just in case. JT goes down. Carson is the guy before UAB, does not practice well on Monday or Tuesday. Stetson is given the job without any reps with the starting unit. And what does he do? He leads your team to a national championship. So now all of a sudden, you give him the necessary time he needs to be the starting quarterback to get the chemistry with the receivers, to get the chemistry with the running backs, the tight ends, the communication with the offensive line that is so critical in this league. He's now been awarded that opportunity. So that is invaluable. So to me, that is going to help take his game to another level. That's number 4. And then number 5, he's an accurate thrower. 65% completion percentage, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I would not be surprised this year with the talent around him, with year 2, with getting the amount of reps he needs to get in practice. Stetson could be a guy that could flirt with 35 touchdowns. 35 touchdowns, 5-6 picks, around 65 to 70% completion. Stetson Bennett, the mailman in New York? I think it could happen.
There's no way there's ever been a national championship returning MVP that hasn't had a full off season as the number 1 quarterback. Like, that is kind of insane to think about. Now it's time for me, as we return to Westeros with House of Dragons, which is fantastic in my opinion. It's time for the top 5 college football figures who would sit upon the Iron Throne. And you already know where we're starting, folks. We got a lot of the OTB faithful in the chat here. We're starting with Nick Saban, obviously, right? The Crimson Emperor. He is Aegon the Conqueror, Tywin Lannister. You play the Game of Thrones and Nick Saban kills you in terms of political machinations and everything. You just cannot beat Nick Saban. Number 2 on my list would be DABO SWINNEY of Clemson. The reason being, he reminds me a bit of the Sparrow, right? Essentially, he is the leader of a religious sect of fanatics, a sect that was ignored for a long time. They thought they weren't going to be any good, and yet all of a sudden they got more and more powerful while you weren't paying attention. And now, well, they prove they can reach the mountaintop, but the question is, how do they fare in this new, more hedonistic era of college football? Only time will tell. Number 3 on my list, Ryan Day. And I sat down to do this. I'm like, Ryan Day. Okay, hell yeah. Ohio State, sure. What do I know about Ryan Day? I know he has rosy cheeks. I feel like he uses Just for Men. He's got very, very dark hair and beard. And that's about the extent of my Ryan Day knowledge. And I know that he wins like 10 games every year, wins the Big Tens every year. He's going to be playoff relevant every year. And so he's kind of like the Starks in that regard, right? Uber powerful, king of the North, very consistent, doesn't really get involved in the politics a la Saban, JIMBO. Ryan Day, number 3 on this list. Number 4, Jimbo Fisher. And the reason is, like the Lannisters, okay, they always pay their debts. Resources. Like, I don't know 100% how you're going to do, but I know you're going to have the money to do it no matter what. And maybe this kind of dovetails with the Clemson logic a little bit. You cannot ignore the cultish commitment of Texas A&M and its fan base. I mean, they will say that. I say that lovingly. They will tell you that they are almost cultish in terms of how everybody is so bought in, so moving in the right direction. And number 5 on this list is Aaron Murray's guy, Kirby Smart. Okay. Not a lot to look at. Okay. But overestimate him or underestimate him physically at your own risk, because here is a guy, a former hand of the king. He sat there to the right hand of the Crimson Imperator, Nick Saban. He learned, he bided his time, and he finally got his opportunity. And now he has said the pupil is now the master. Also, don't forget, Athens, Georgia is incredible. It's probably the best college town in the country. It's got like a King's Landing vibe going on after that. So there you go. Those are your top 5 coaches most apropos to sit on the Iron Throne.